So how do you do this problem? It says graph this function, y equals 2x plus 2. Remember the form, y equals mx plus b. Y equals the b and the m stand for something. So we're going to write this underneath just so we can see where the things match up. What we're going to do is we're going to make a line from that equation. Okay, so we're going to make a line on the graph. So let's see where each of these things match up. If I write that equation of a line right underneath my equation, I can see that the b and the 2 are the same. They're both after a plus sign. What does b mean? Some of you remember b is the y-intercept, fancy word for where does this line cross over the y-axis. So my typing's terrible today, but it means y-intercept, or where does the line cross over the y-axis, or the y-line. That's what our b means. So we see that our b is the y-intercept. It's where it crosses over the y-axis, and our b is 2. So we're going to make a point right at 2 on the y-line, the y-axis. So there we go. Now we have to look at our other thing that we have to put on the graph, our slope. M stands for the slope. Remember, the slope is how steep a line is. If I put a point right here and I draw a line through those 2 points, I have a pretty steep line. If I draw a point somewhere else on this coordinate plane, maybe right here, and I draw a line through those 2 points, my line is not going to be as steep as that first line. That second point tells you how steep is your line. What is the slope of your line? Remember, think about skiing. Which one would you rather learn to ski on? And remember, how do we find slope? Well, it's the change in the y coordinates over the change in the x coordinates. In every ordered pair, the first number is the y, the second one is the x, and we find slope. It's the change in y, or subtracting the y's, over the changes in x's, or subtracting the x's. So we have our x's are 1 and 0, our y's are 8 and 2. If we subtract them, the slope of that line is 6. We don't even have to do any of this stuff that I just did. All we have to do is look at the 2. We don't have to write the coordinates. We don't have to do any of this stuff over here. It's so much easier. We're just going to look at the 2. So let me delete all that stuff that I just put there. That's just for me to show you what is slope and how do you find slope. So we have our y-intercept, our b, and now we're going to write the number 2. Our m is slope, and we always want to make it a fraction. So I know if I put 2 over 1, it's the same number. 2 over 1. Make it a fraction. If it's already a fraction, keep it a fraction. If it's not a fraction, make it a fraction by putting it over 1. Now let's remember, the top number is the y's that we subtracted, and the bottom number is the x's we subtracted. So that top number, the 2, we're going to go up on the y line, or the y-axis, 2 from that point that we put there. So I'll make a temporary little point right here. And then we're going to look at our x, and we're going to move over to the right on our x-axis over 1, because our number is 1, from that point that we just made. And now we have our 2 points. The first point that we make and the last point we make are the 2 points that we're going to use for our line, excuse me. So that's how you use an equation to graph the function. You're going to put 2 points on the line, on the graph, and then draw a line through it. So let's do another one. Y equals 2/3 x plus, let's do 4. Okay, we know 4 is our y-intercept. It's where it crosses over the y-axis, so I'm going to put a dot or a point on 4. And then I know that my other thing that I have to do is my other point, my slope. My slope is 2 over 3. My fraction is 2 over 3. 2 is where it changes on the y-axis, and 3 is where we move on the x-axis. So we're going to start at the point, we're going to go up on the y-axis 2, make a little temporary point. We don't need this point, it's just a temporary placeholder. And now we're going to go across 3 on our x-axis. 1, 2, 3, there's our permanent point right there. That's the point we're looking for. And now, and you don't have to make those squiggle lines that I did, but you do have to make a line. Make your line nice and big and long and put little arrows on the end of your line. That's how we graph the equation of a line on a coordinate plane. If you have any questions, raise your hand and I'll try and help you.